Okay, I know everyone has kind of been talking about the Delta plane crash where the plane flipped upside down. But you know, something about all these plane crashes, these plane incidents, all these things going on does not sit right with me. So for right now, let's get into what happened with Delta Airlines on Monday. If you haven't seen the video, I'm going to show you guys the video. Before I do, this is a picture right here of Delta Airlines. As you can see, the plane is literally upside down, guys. It is upside down, okay? And then, right, this is the video I saw on Monday afternoon, kind of Tuesday morning. This is what was trending.
Holy fuck. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. Oh my fucking god. Yo, I was just on this fucking plane. Oh my god. Yo, I was just on this fucking plane. Holy fuck.
Right, guys, right? Crazy, so crazy, completely upside down. And I will show you guys the video for it later on, because I want to get into the facts of what's going on. So this is currently what's being said. On Monday, February 17th, in the afternoon, an aircraft holding 80 passengers crashed and flipped over at Canada's Toronto Pearson Airport. Let's take a closer look at what happened, guys, right? So on a normal afternoon in Minneapolis, passengers boarded Delta flight 4819, a Bombardier CRJ900, and this plane might look familiar to you because a plane very similar to this, I believe also in the CRJ900, this plane, the regular standard plane that is used for flying passengers, was in an accident, right? So the crazy thing about this flight and the scariest thing about this flight is it's about a 2-hour flight, right? At max, 2.5 hours. In extreme conditions, probably 3. It's not a long flight. Minneapolis to Canada flight time usually on average is around 2 hours, 10 minutes, right? So it's kind of feels like a little hop, skipping away. Watch a nice little movie and you're there, right? So Toronto at the time, guys, Toronto's in the north and winter has come in Toronto. So Toronto had strong winds that has been howling all day long. The air traffic controls were notifying pilots of wind gusts going up to 38 miles per hour, and to be aware of that, especially when flying close and flying out, landing, and everything. So the airport personnel as well, the previous night, worked diligently to clear the remaining 8 inches of snow. Now, I'm from New York, so my mom has a habit of overbuying salt. And if she gets any hint that there might be snow, she puts salt everywhere. And usually that's how come we don't have to shovel so much. I would have assumed that because Toronto is a cold city, because they do have very cold, very harsh winters there, that they would already be on top of making sure that planes have no issue landing, making sure the tarmac is clean, making sure everything's clean. And that's honestly a little question, is that why that plane flipped? Is it because the tarmac was icy or still had snow? We're going to get into that. We're going to get into what people actually believe happened and why that plane flipped over. Now, the plane itself had been cleared for landing, and when it went down beautifully. It skidded though, and immediately as soon as it landed, flipped over. Like skid, flip over, right? As it flipped over, of course, it crashed into the tarmac, causing flame and screeching to fill the air before coming to a halt. Now, each and every single passenger was upside down, hanging in their seats. Nobody was rushing to get their bags. Nobody was standing in the line, in the aisle forever because they haven't opened the doors. Nobody was doing that. Nobody was clapping. Everybody was literally hanging like bats, waiting to get help, waiting to evacuate, probably in sheer panic mode. Now, this whole thing, there's something about this flight that changes everything. Because you see, from the outside of the plane, fire engines came out and then they began spraying, especially over the fuselage, to prevent an even bigger explosion. And as I said, from the inside, while this is going on, passengers were hanging like bats. Flight attendants, shout out to the flight attendants, because I wouldn't even know what to do in that situation. They helped passengers get out of their seats. And remember, when you're upside down, it's only one buckle holding you. As soon as you open it, you fall down. You are just going to fall. There's no easy way to get people down. Unless they're able to like hold the weight of their, unbuckle, hold the weight and slowly drop down somehow, some way. But for the most part, you're pretty much doing like a half flip in the air. But yeah, flight attendants, they helped passengers get out of their seats and crawl out of emergency exits. I do want to shout out the flight attendants, because apparently the way they evacuated everybody, they got people they got people off that plane quickly, with the quickness, right? This right here is a passenger testimony from the flight.
I believe we touched down on the right rear landing gear, and then we went to the right hard and hit hard. At that point, I'm assuming the left side's gonna come down, right? Because every plane I've ever been on lands and comes to a stop and taxis. But it didn't, right? It kept turning. Plane was rotating, we're on our side, and, soon we're upside down, and that's when it hits you. I'm in a plane crash. Everyone was relatively calm. People were helping the people around them get upright, gather their things. There was some shouting back and forth. Is somebody opening the doors? We need to get off this plane. The smell of jet fuel became very strong. We could see jet fuel going over the windows, pooling up. I don't know, I call it a pond underneath the plane. It was windy out yesterday, and that jet fuel was pooling up to the point where there were ripples in this small lake of jet fuel under the plane. And seeing the videos today of the fireball we landed in, it just seems inconceivable that we weren't on fire.
Yeah. So I want to show you guys this picture. So that way you got an idea, right? Now, this passenger, he said that everybody was calm, everybody was helping each other. I want to put out here that although everybody was urged to get out of the plane immediately, instead of getting their luggage, there were still many passengers who stopped to get their luggage. And I want to put this out here because the fact that this man said there was jet fuel underneath the plane, there was already a fire, there was jet fuel underneath the plane. They are very lucky that firefighters came right away, because if that jet fuel caught fire, all those people that were like, no, let me get my luggage, let me get my luggage, you guys would have been the reason that whoever is still left in the plane would be unalived. Like, with all due respect, I know nobody likes to lose personal items. I absolutely know that. But if the bag isn't underneath the seat and it's in one of those cubby things, get out. Let them make sure the plane is not going to explode, and then have them get your stuff. The most important thing is your life, not your bag. But yeah, as you guys could see, right? The plane landed right where it says last recorded position of the plane. It flipped over immediately, and once again, we'll get into the video right after this. And that spot right there, right at that crossroad, is where they landed. Now, I do want to say, guys, because I did say I would play the video, I do want to say, fair warning. I am going to show the crash. If it is too much to handle, please feel free to skip it at any time. And I will tell you guys immediately right after this video plays how many people survived. And you will not believe how many people survived. You will not believe it at all. But yeah.
Oh, fuck. Oh, no.
Okay, so you guys see, right? It was, if you watch it slowly, I'll play it one more time so you guys can see.
Oh, fuck. Oh, no.
You see that? Like, it was practically a perfect, normal, average landing. Something happened, and the plane flipped slowly to the side, breaking off its wing, and continued flipping over. I do want to say the tail of planes are made to break off if the plane does flip over, so that way it's less issues. And it's a bit easier to deal with, but that's exactly what happened. As I said though, this is a standard plane. It's a 2-hour flight. It's a standard passenger plane. It's a plane that holds 80 people. 80 people, 76 of them I believe are passengers and 4 are crew. Out of the 80 people on board, all 80 survived. You heard me. All 80 survived. Only 21 people were sent to the hospital, one of which was a child who was reported to be in good condition. 2 adults were airlifted and in critical condition. And as of Tuesday this week, 19 out of 21 were released from the hospital. It is such a blessing that out of all these plane crashes going on, that this one has 0 casualties. So I definitely want to applaud the flight crew. As I said, the flight attendants, the 2 flight attendants most likely, because there's usually 2 pilots and then the rest are flight attendants. So the 2 flight attendants who got 76 passengers out of the plane before getting themselves out, making sure to help people flip over, drop down, helping children, helping parents, helping like adults, older adults, all get out. I want to applaud the pilot and co-pilot, because however they maneuvered that kept everybody relatively safe, alive, good. And on top of that, the fact that only 2 people were in critical condition, everybody else is doing fairly good. That is amazing. And I definitely have to say, keeping control of the plane, as someone who learned to fly when I went to the Philippines, if you tip like this, like, let me show you, right? So let's say this is the handle for the plane. If you go like this, just real lightly, your plane is already turning almost completely. Like, you go boop, just a little bit, and your plane is already like boop, like that, instead of straight. If you go all the way, you're practically like flipping over, and it goes so quick. So definitely need to applaud those, the pilot, the co-pilot, because whatever was going on, they were still keeping control, and because of that, there weren't any casualties. Now, there is a speculation that what actually happened and why the plane flipped over was not because of snow or ice on the tarmac, but because as it landed, like right as it hit down, a gust of wind kind of pushed the plane, causing it to tip over. So think of it like this, right? I know I got my hands all everywhere, but think of it like this. Plane's going, boo, 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 wind goes, pew, just like that. But as for the explosion, guys, the impact of the plane turning caused the wing to hit hard on the side it was falling into, which tore the wing off. And right there, because there are engines right there on the wing, those fuel cells are what caught fire. That's where the fire came from, and that's the assumption of how that plane flipped over. Because, I mean, look at this, guys. Let me show you that first picture. That's crazy. That's so crazy. So, for those of you that were wondering about this flight, wondering about this crash, this is pretty much all the facts I have so far. And I will honestly say, with all the crashes and casualties regarding planes as of this year and the last few weeks of last year, it feels so relieving to hear about a crash where there are 0 casualties. So guys, I will say, what do you think of these plane incidents? What do you think of this situation? And also, please, I know how restless it can be on a plane, especially on a long haul flight, but those seatbelt warning signs that they put for turbulence, they are there for a reason. They really, really are. It's really, really good that each and every single person had their seatbelt on during this crash, because it could have been a lot worse. So, bye guys.